start with a fun one here. Everyone's still talking about your trash talking, which I know has been your thing for your entire career. So I wanted to know how many times that maybe the other team has bitten on your trash talking, say jumped off sides or crossed the line when you didn't, and maybe had a flag thrown on them.
Kelly, I don't know, to be honest with you. And, it's funny because really there's been fewer and fewer interactions with the defense over the years. Obviously, much was made of the last weekend. I think a lot of it to do was the atmosphere. Being in an empty stadium, it really did feel like we were in the backyard. So it's gotten less and less. It kind of depends. Most of the time, it's you either know guys or have a history of guys. It's all in good fun. So I try to keep a healthy balance there and not let it obviously get carried away. But I don't really go into games with plans. There's been plenty of games where there hasn't been a word said to the opposing team. It just kind of go with the flow.
Ken Sterling.
When it does happen, when you get on guys and you hear it back during highlights or in social media or something like that or on film, are you entertained by it? Do you regret it? What are your thoughts when you hear it?
Yeah, probably all of the above. I don't regret's probably a little strong, but there's certainly times when you go, what am I doing? But again, I think there's certainly a line there not to cross in terms of not getting consumed at all. And again, I think it's much more was made of it probably in my 20s even. And there was probably times when it was probably too much part of it at times. But I truly just, again, I've played the game like, ever since I was a kid in the backyard, and I've always kind of played it that way. So I think there's just an element of that you can't get rid of. And it's an element of that's when I'm really at my best. So like I said, there's had not anything be ever caught on video, I wouldn't even give it two thoughts worth, because after the game, it's a good game, and man, it was fun. All right, you move on to the next one. So it's definitely not something that I think about very often.
Bob Kravitz.
Philip, you had a great punter in San Diego, Mike Cyphers, who, as you remember, almost single-handedly beat the Colts in the playoffs many years ago. What is it like having Rigoberto Sanchez, and what does his ability allow you the freedom to maybe make better decisions on third and long or whatever, knowing he's back there?
Yeah, Rigo's been awesome, and I do think obviously you'd love to score every possession, and I don't know where we are now. I had a few more punts than we would have liked last week, but going into last week, I think we were right there, fewest number of punts in the league. So we've been doing a good job of moving the ball and not having 3 and outs and things like that. But no, I definitely think so. It can be a weapon for you, and certainly you are aware and play a little different. Especially, we were backed up last week, and the thing we said in the huddle offensively was, we want to drive and score, but let's flip the field. At the very least, let's flip the field. And we took it from our own 4, and I think we did flip it. Then they tried it out there on offense at their own 4. So there's an element with the way our defense is playing, and then you obviously see game to game that the field position and the hidden yardage is huge, and it's something Coach talks a lot about. So, I think I said this a few weeks ago, try to end every possession with a kick. Obviously you prefer them be extra points followed by field goals, but end it with a punt, certainly much better than a turnover. Sometimes, and I'm guilty of this, goes without saying, that it's third and long and you give a guy a chance and they intercept it. It's, it's like a punt, but not always. Even an interception that maybe they catch 28, 35 yards down the field, it has a different feel. There's that energy and momentum that can come from an interception, different than a 50-yard punt that they have to fair catch inside the 10. So that's certainly something to be aware of week to week and as we move forward.
Mike Chappell.
We were talking to Frank, and he said, the object is to win the game. But during a game, I'm sure how the game goes impacts how you approach it. When you see a team like Cleveland where they're scoring, they're lights out, do you anticipate this won't be 19-11? So you have to go in with the idea to be more aggressive or not?
Well, I don't know that you go in expecting a certain thing. I think it works both ways. I mean, certainly the way our defense is playing and the confidence in our defense we have, it would be crazy for me to say I would expect our D to give up a lot of points. So I don't necessarily expect it to be that, but I think as an offense, we're all one team, but as an offense, our job is to score one more point than our defense allows. And if that were to be 35, 38, 41, whatever it is, then our job is to score one more than that. And if it's 11, then we better get 12. And so I think having that approach is probably the best way to go, is be ready to go with how the game goes. And again, obviously our defense has been unbelievable. We've done enough offensively to win. We found the way collectively to win the game, 3 out of the first 4. So that's the objective each week. And however it shakes out, it doesn't mean one side's more important or one side won it this week than the other. We all win it. We all win together, because I think they feed off one another depending on how the game goes. And whether that be yardage, sometimes you look at teams, Dallas was down so big, they're going to get some yards. Cleveland was a little softer in that second half, knowing they had to make up 28 points plus or whatever. So, you see a bunch of yardage gain. Well, that can be deceiving as well. So, but I guess that's the long way of saying we got to find a way to score more point than our D allows. And so far, that hadn't been very many, but we're prepared to do whatever we need to do.
So maybe in general, go in with the idea to keep your foot down and then adjust as the game unfolds.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's one thing. We did it in obviously in unison with the defense. They scored twice against the Jets. We were able to kind of really close that one out. Last week we had some opportunities and didn't really close it out soon enough. Now the 4-minute drive, I say 4 minutes. I think it was 11 minutes on the clock when we got it, and that's a big time drive to make it 19-3. But we had some other opportunities in the red zone where we can score touchdowns and make it a 3-score game earlier, and we didn't do that. So definitely when we have opportunities to either put the game out of reach or score touchdowns, we need to make sure we get that done.
All right, we'll do 3 more. Zach Kiefer.
Hey, Phil, big picture question. When you came into the league in 2004, did you have an idea how long you wanted to play? Were you a guy that was, I'm going to play until my arm falls off, I'm going to play until it's not fun anymore? What were your thoughts back then?
I really honestly don't know that I thought that far. I was a fan of quarterbacks in general. Obviously grew up in more college football territory, but the Marinos, the Elway, Peyton, Favre, those guys were my favorite guys, so, and they obviously all played a long time. So, but I didn't really have a number on it. It's funny you asked that today. We're in the midst of a Wednesday. Wednesdays are always kind of a heck of a day. There's a lot going on from all the installs and stuff. And we were kind of in the middle of changing from an offensive meeting to a quarterback meeting. And I was, we were just kind of going through a lot of the bulk of the plan. And I said, I think that's one thing you'll really know is when you dread these Wednesdays and Thursdays, and I still love that part of it. I love the preparation part of it. So I think that's one of the things. I think sometimes you may lose it physically before that happens, but I think when you still enjoy the work week from a preparation standpoint, that's always a good sign.
Why do you love the preparation still?
Well, I mean, again, it's that prep because you're preparing yourself to go out and compete and to be confident in what we're doing and to go out and execute at a high level. I mean, the ins and outs of the plan and why, and here's this and here's this adjustment, and we can do this and do that. I mean, I don't shoot. That's just a passion and love for the sport in its totality. I mean, I love that part of it, and I sure as heck love trotting out there here at 1:30 and getting to practice at 38 years old with a bunch of your buddies. So it's pretty good deal.
Kevin Bowen.
Phil, in a week like this, when you're facing a guy like Myles Garrett, how conscious are you every snap coming to the line of scrimmage, identifying him, and how are you guys going to block him, snap in and snap out? Yeah,
well, I think, much like last week with Khalil Mack, obviously, and Myles is the same kind of guy from a game record standpoint. This Cleveland defense really flies around. Obviously, they've created a lot of turnovers, so it's not just one guy. It's a heck of a defensive group. Played these guys last year or 2 years ago. Shoot, now the years are running together, but with a different scheme. So it is different. Obviously, with Joe Woods as the coordinator, obviously with a lot of time there in Denver, Some similarities, not necessarily, you know. So, but no, Myles is a heck of a player. And again, the defense collectively is taking the ball away, and our offense is scoring a lot of points. That's usually a good combination. So, it'll be a heck of a challenge for us.
Last one, George Bremer.
Well, there's obviously areas you want to work on. People have talked about the red zone, some of the other things where the offense wants to get better. But is there any sense of confidence that comes from the fact that you're winning games while you're going through these growing pains?
Yeah, definitely. And I think you always want to keep improving and getting better. And if you can win along the way, then that's a pretty good sign. So, you know, we're doing a lot of things good. You know, sometimes, you know, certain categories and statistics can be a little bit deceiving because we're doing a lot of good things. But certainly not as good as we want to do them, and not as good as we're going to need to do them as we progress through the season. But so to answer your question, yes, I mean, you can win along the way. I don't know that you're ever going to walk off the field going, "Hey, we played a perfect game," because there's been a lot of things to clean up in each of these games. But the alternative to what we've done the last 3 weeks isn't a heck of a lot of fun. So find a way to win, do the things necessary to win. I think those are all good traits of a team that's got a chance to improve and do something special. So again, a long way to go, but I like the direction we're headed. I think we're focused, and we're head down and keep getting to work. And you know, I'd rather, you know, I've been a part of teams that have been number one in third down. Hopefully we'll end up right there in the top 5 in third down. But I've been a part of teams that have been in the top 3 third down and won 4 games. So those years aren't any fun. We don't walk around high-fiving for being top 3 third down and winning 4 games. So it's about finding a way to have one more point than the other team at the end of the day. We've done that 3 out of 4. See if we can do it for our 4th on Sunday.